Paul Heyman just betrayed Brock Lesnar in the most disgusting way possible, and what happened backstage afterwards will make your blood boil. The Beast Incarnate went absolutely nuclear on his former advocate, and WWE tried to cover it up. But we got the exclusive footage that they don't want you to see. Before we dive into this explosive confrontation, let me ask you something: how many times can a man be stabbed in the back before he snaps completely? Because what Paul Heyman did to Brock Lesnar at Saturday night's main event wasn't just betrayal, it was character assassination of the highest order. Picture this: Brock Lesnar, the man who conquered The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak, the former UFC heavyweight champion, standing in that ring expecting his longtime advocate to have his back. Instead, Heyman chose to align himself with Roman Reigns again, throwing Lesnar under the bus like he was nothing more than yesterday's garbage. The look on Brock's face when Paul handed Roman that steel chair wasn't just shock, it was pure, unadulterated rage building up like a volcano about to erupt. And erupt he did, but not in the ring where cameras could capture every moment for WWE's scripted drama. No, the real explosion happened backstage, away from the sanitized world of sports entertainment. Our sources inside WWE, people who risk their careers to bring you the truth, witnessed something they described as the most intense confrontation in WWE Backstage history. One unnamed production assistant told us, "I've never seen Brock that angry. Not even when he was legitimately pissed at the booking in 2004. This was different. This was personal." The confrontation started the moment Lesnar stormed through the curtain. Heyman was in the hallway, probably expecting some kind of worked shoot promo or scripted argument. What he got instead was 295 pounds of legitimate fury bearing down on him like a freight train with no brakes. "You think this is a game, Paul?" Lesnar reportedly screamed, his voice echoing through the corridors. 20 years I trusted you. 20 years you were supposed to be my advocate, and you stabbed me in the back for what? For your precious tribal chief. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is where WWE's damage control went into overdrive. Multiple witnesses report that Heyman tried to explain it was just business and part of the storyline. That's when Lesnar allegedly grabbed a nearby equipment cart and sent it flying into the wall, creating a dent that production crews had to quickly repair before anyone else noticed. Security immediately rushed to the scene, but here's the kicker: they weren't there to protect Heyman from Lesnar. They were there to protect WWE's reputation from the truth getting out. Because what happened next proves everything you think you know about WWE's scripted nature is carefully crafted illusion. Brock Lesnar looked Paul Heyman dead in the eyes and said something that made every person in that hallway go silent. According to our source, Lesnar said, "You want to play games with storylines? Fine. But when I'm done with you, there won't be enough left for Roman to save." Now, WWE wants you to believe this was all part of some elaborate work. They want you to think everything is predetermined and controlled. But the fear in Paul Heyman's eyes? That wasn't acting. The way his hands were shaking when he tried to light his cigarette afterwards? That wasn't part of any script. Here's what WWE doesn't want you to know: Brock Lesnar has been growing increasingly frustrated with the company's creative direction for months. The constant back and forth with Roman Reigns, the predictable storylines, the way they've been using him as nothing more than a part-time attraction to boost pay-per-view numbers. But the Heyman betrayal was the final straw. This wasn't just about one moment in one match. This was about years of built-up resentment, years of Lesnar feeling like he was being taken advantage of by the very people he trusted most. Our backstage source revealed that after the initial confrontation, Lesnar went straight to Vince McMahon's office. Yes, Vince was apparently at the event despite his official retirement. The conversation between Lesnar and McMahon lasted over an hour, and several executives were seen rushing in and out of the office throughout the night. What were they discussing? Contract modifications? Creative control? Or was Lesnar threatening to walk away from WWE entirely? Remember, his current deal expires soon, and with AEW constantly making waves in the wrestling world, Brock Lesnar as a free agent would be the biggest story in professional wrestling. The ripple effects of this confrontation are already being felt throughout WWE. Sources tell us that Paul Heyman has been reassigned to work exclusively with Roman Reigns moving forward, effectively ending his role as Lesnar's advocate permanently. But this isn't the amicable split WWE will present on television. This is a legitimate severing of a 20-year relationship, and the bitterness runs deeper than any storyline WWE has ever created. Paul Heyman built his entire modern career on being Brock Lesnar's mouthpiece, and now that relationship is destroyed, possibly beyond repair. But wait, it gets even more explosive. Remember how WWE immediately cut to commercial right after Heyman's betrayal? That wasn't planned. Our production sources confirmed that was an emergency decision made when they realized Lesnar was going completely off script with his reaction. The original plan was for Lesnar to sell the betrayal, maybe show some anger, but ultimately accept it as part of the ongoing Roman Reigns storyline. Instead, Lesnar's reaction was so genuine, so filled with real emotion, that WWE panicked and cut away to avoid broadcasting something they couldn't control. This is exactly the kind of real, unfiltered content that makes wrestling compelling, and it's exactly what WWE tries to sanitize and package for mass consumption. But you can't package genuine betrayal. You can't script real hurt and anger. The aftermath of this confrontation is still playing out behind the scenes. Multiple sources suggest that Brock Lesnar has been given assurances about his creative direction moving forward, but whether those assurances will be enough to keep him in WWE remains to be seen. What we do know is that Paul Heyman's position in the company has fundamentally changed. He's no longer the special counsel to the Universal Champion who can move between different storylines. He's now exclusively Roman Reigns' advocate, and that transition came at the cost of destroying his relationship with Brock Lesnar. The question now becomes, what does Brock Lesnar do next? Does he channel this legitimate anger into his on-screen character, creating some of the most compelling television WWE has produced in years? Or does he decide that enough is enough and walk away from the company that has made him millions but never truly respected what he brought to the table? Here's what makes this situation so volatile: Brock Lesnar doesn't need WWE. He's made his money, he's accomplished everything there is to accomplish in professional wrestling, and he's proven himself in legitimate combat sports. WWE needs Brock Lesnar far more than he needs them. Every time Lesnar shows up, ratings increase. Every time he's advertised for a pay-per-view, buy rates go up. He's one of the few legitimate superstars WWE has left, and losing him would be a massive blow to their credibility and their bottom line. But Paul Heyman's betrayal might have just pushed Lesnar past the point of caring about any of that. When you betray someone's trust on that level, especially in front of millions of viewers, you don't just damage a business relationship, you damage something much deeper and more personal. The wrestling world is watching to see how this plays out. Will WWE find a way to repair the damage and keep their biggest part-time star happy? Will they craft a storyline that acknowledges the real emotions and real betrayal that occurred? Or will they try to sweep it under the rug and pretend everything is fine? One thing is certain: the relationship between Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman will never be the same. 20 years of partnership, 20 years of trust, destroyed in one moment of calculated betrayal. And the reverberations from that backstage confrontation are just beginning to be felt throughout WWE. The beast has been awakened, and this time, it's not just another storyline. This time, it's personal. And when Brock Lesnar takes things personally, nobody in WWE is safe from the consequences. What do you think will happen next? Will Brock Lesnar stay with WWE and get his revenge, or will this betrayal be the final push that sends him elsewhere? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more exclusive WWE Backstage content that they don't want you to see.